What's up, guys? In this video I want to show you how we can improve our pelvic control. When we go through exercise and movement, one of the most important things to do is be able to position and control your pelvis so that we can have the most amount of energy saved and move most efficiently. We're going to go through one round of this series of pelvic control. You can take this up to 2-3 rounds depending on how much time you have. It won't take you more than 10 minutes. All right, here we go. So we're going to start in a kneeling position. What I want you to do is just put your hands on your pelvis, and I'll show you from an angle here. And just stick your butt out so everything else stays nice and stable. Knees up to your hips and then hips on up to your shoulders. So I want ribs down, abs engaged, and all you're gonna do is drive your hips up, so stick your butt out, and then squeezing your glutes, stacking your ribs underneath even more, pulling your pelvis underneath, rotating it up and through. You're gonna give me 8 repetitions each side, hands on that pelvis, and you're doing it right if when your hands are flat like this, your fingertips point up, and then your fingertips start to angle down. And if you have not worked on pelvic control, this might be difficult for you, and you might not get much movement to start, or you might get your whole chest coming up, you might get your whole back rounding off, and you want to just try to maintain it and isolate it to where it's just the pelvis sticking out and then pulling through. We'll call that number 6. 7 and 8. Good. Continue to practice that. Here we go. Side lying. You're going to lay nice and flat. Now, what I want to work on is engaging the glutes with our external rotators and our internal rotators. You're going to lay all the way flat, completely flat where your whole rib cage is on the ground. And I want you to stack everything up from your ankles on up to your knees, your hips, and then your shoulders. So we're not here where my joints aren't stacked on top of each other. They're here, then stick your butt out to exaggerate the hyperextension in your low back, and then pull it through so everything's nice and neutral, your abs are engaged, everything's turned on. Now from here, we're gonna work internal rotators first. So what I want you to do is raise your leg up, point your toes to the front, so you're gonna rotate your knee down to the ground, move your leg in front slightly of your down leg, and now what I want you to do is raise it up as high as you can, without anything else moving. So we're trying to keep everything in position, keep everything nice and tight. As we go, and you're gonna squeeze here using your internal rotators, since my knee is rotated in. Raise it up as high as you can, and back down. What I don't wanna see is here where I'm bending at my spine. Okay, I stay nice and flat. Give me 8 each way. Very slow and controlled movement. 3. Keep that toe pointed down. 2. And 1. Good. Now we're going to go to external rotator. So the opposite. Make sure everything's stacked. Abs are still engaged. Rotate that knee up like so. And then I want you to move that leg back behind you ever so slightly. Drive it up and back down. Up and back down. Two more. Good, we'll switch sides. Here we go. So we'll hit the internal rotators, 8. Make sure everything's nice and stacked. Abs are pulled through. Hips are forward. Rotate that knee down. Move that leg in front. Then raise up. Last one. Good, here we go, external. Rotate it first, move it ever so slightly backwards, stack everything, make sure it stays nice and tight. What you want to focus on is keeping your pelvis still stacked on top and not opening up here like that. So to almost tilt forward, and you can even exaggerate by trying to push that pelvis and point that front pelvis towards the ground there. 4. Good, we're going side plank on the other side. Now what I want to do is a side plank with the knee raise. When I do that knee raise and I go through hip flexion, when I go to bring my knee up, what will tend to happen when I'm in a side plank, my butt and my pelvis is going to stick out. What I want you to focus on is, as we go through this, is pulling, as I raise my top knee up, is pulling my hips forward and keeping them stacked, my rib cage stacked over my pelvis. So it's going to look like this. You're going to go through 10. What will tend to happen is, as I raise up, my butt sinks back towards the ground, or towards behind me there. So here we go. Good. All right, other side. It's nice and hard with some socks on. Here we go. Pull the hips through, stack everything on top, drive your hips up, and then as I raise that knee up, my pelvis goes forward. And 10, good. All right, last one to finish up is a little dead bug lift off. So what I want you to do is, from here, you're gonna drive your legs down to the ground. You're gonna tap, then using your pelvis, your tailbone's gonna come up and off the ground. You're gonna reach down, low back stays connected to the ground, legs stay bent, tap your heels, and then I want you to lift your pelvis up off the ground, so now it's only my low back touching the ground. My tailbone, my butt is off the ground. Reach, tailbone touches the ground, low back stays smashed. I'm using my abs, and then reach, lift off, use my abs to lift that pelvis up. Give me 8. Now, if that's super easy, straighten them suckers. Here we go. You'll see that little, so right now my tailbone's on the ground. That little movement right there is moving my pelvis up. 4, 3 more. You thought this was just pelvic control. Let's get the abs work. All right, that's it. Those 4 moves, those 5 moves really, are gonna help you to increase the amount that you can control your pelvis and get your pelvis in the right positioning so that your movement can be most efficient. Hope you guys like it. Have a great day.